Sounds cool. Tutorial. Nobody moves, nobody does anything. Gives us a lot of information on this. All you have to do is beat down enemy strongholds. Listen to all of the
decisive battle.
Tutorial information on how it works. Pretty in-depth tutorial. As you select each option, stuff it kind of tells you about them. Every time something happens, it tells you a little bit about it. Annoying to me since I have to skip through it and all that.
Battle 1, fight!
That's good tutorial animations, but you don't really see any effect purposes until about Chronicle 4. You do get a couple of little ones in some of the Chronicles. Chronicle 2 has defense down on Gerardo. I just noticed recently. I never paid attention to that. But there's an obvious poison effect here. Not obviously that you know what it is until you've played the game or even what it does, but four unit types in the game: infantry, cavalry, knights, and bandits. Each have different strengths and weaknesses.
Final battle, fight!
Their movement on the map, their damage to other units, and how much they take from others.
You should really give up. It looks like I won today, but who knows what'll happen next time.
How much damage they do to strongholds. Bandits occupy a wonderful little niche where they're the second fastest and the second fastest stronghold. And since the other units that occupy the top slots occupy the bottom slots of the opposite one, bandits are far and away the fastest for moving around through the Chronicles. Speaking on the, I used cavalry for my New Game Plus because they were strong enough, but I do Chronicle 20 otherwise. Normally I use infantry there on Chronicle 20 as well as once for one character in Chronicle 20. Otherwise it's strictly bandits, and I never ever use knights because they're just too slow.
Decisive battle. Forgot that I need to change that. Beyond battle 1.
Everything else
fight.
didn't change the game I'm playing. So now I'm playing some Calibur, it's very
You should really give up.
full of radiance still.
Battle 2, fight!
You should really give up. It was a decent match.
There we go. Now it's updated. It says I'm playing Soulcalibur 3.
Fate. Battle 1. Fight.
You should really give up.
Final battle. Fight. Ring out.
You should really give. It was a decent match.
Decisive battle.
Kind of interesting. Obelia has dialogue. The first time you have a character about to start a fight who's alone, she calls out the line, "Don't spread out your forces. Take on one target at a time." And it's forced. She has to get
Good
the
luck
dialogue
to
out,
you.
so she uses it right before the
Fight
final
with
battle.
all your
She
might,
hasn't
as
already.
I will.
Battle 1. Fight.
Your dialogue comes almost randomly during Chronicle 8. It comes after a certain period of characters have been defeated.
Battle 2. Fight.
Kind of a lip off for where it comes from. I wonder if I can say that it's probably will happen right before the final battle, but I don't see it before then.
It looks like I got lucky.
Off to a pretty good start today. At the stage of speedrunning this game where I need to remember to try to learn how to get the most concise, quick, and instant order as possible. And not to waste too much time manually orders and such. Easier to do that, of course.
Decisive battle.
I really still feel I can save another 10-ish minutes on Soulcalibur % by playing it right.
Battle 1. Fight.
You should really give up. It looks like I got lucky.
Thing I like to mention about this Chronicle is that these characters, Jinkai and Xiaoxing, will join your party, or one of them will, whichever one you defeat first if you defeat them. If you don't defeat either of them, neither will join you. They have a little bit of dialogue and stuff that you say by talking through. But most things just that fight. It takes a long time to load battles. Love to get a remastered version of this on a later console or on Steam with cut down loading times. I really would like to see how much time that would cut out of playing this game.
Decisive battle.
You are strong. One day, you will succeed in life. Of course, only if you manage to defeat me.
Battle 1. Fight.
You should really give up.
Battle 2. Fight.
You should really give up. It looks like I got lucky.
I find it somewhat ironic in this map, even though we're fighting bandits, the actual unit types of any of them, none of them are actually bandits. They never program bandits into this game because, for the most part, not even in places where it would be alright for characters to start combat.
You should really
Just
give
like
up.
cavalry.
Did you enjoy my dance?
For whatever reason, they seem to feel that bandits are not properly difficulty calibrated for computer opponents, I guess. If you engage them in combat, of course, they're totally useless, and if you leave them alone to attack citadels, they're far too powerful. Which is why I use them so much, and going into Soulcalibur combat nullifies their main weakness.
Final battle. Fight. Now.
This is the end.
Now.
Wow.
Fight. Now.
Not a huge deal in this case. I'm still
You picked the wrong person to fight.
only fight one more battle with him, and he isn't going to be in too much danger of dying. I could lose a little bit of time if he does, but for the most part, that's a really out there experience. I always have a few of them every Chronicle when you have a speedrun this long with this many battles in it. As much as I try to make the fights quick and easy, my tactics never that precise. Main stronghold has minus guard, which you probably never notice. Guard can get a little bit of a poison effect on you.
Battle 1. Fight.
This is the end.
Yep.
Decisive battle. Battle 1. Fight!
You should really give up.
Battle 2. Fight!
You should really give up.
Final battle. Fight!
You should really give up. It looks like I got lucky.
Bandits left, two of which have the name Grendel and are Grendel generic soldiers. It's kind of clever how they even called them Grendel and use the super generic thing there. Because they're supposed to be dressed
Decisive
up in
battle.
Grendel uniforms in order to incite this war between Nokia and Grendel. Since pretty much every map has a few forces of the enemy that have generic names based on their faction, as well as the generic
Battle
dress like
1.
this Grendel.
Fight!
You should really give
In
up.
fact, they made the Grendel soldiers just like that.
Battle 2. Fight!
Chronicle 2 is the same out in here.
You should
All
really
the
give up.
soldiers are Gerardo's elite teacher trainers. Got Chao
Battle
Shin
3.
Rufus.
Fight!
You should really give up. I'm sorry, but I must move on.
Not a lot of dialogue, but a pretty long cutscene actually.
I have absolutely no intention of dying here.
Controlling on this map is still sometimes so tricky.
Decisive battle.
That's actually a little bit rough.
You're certainly a handful. I shall remember your name, as you are the only one who has provided a worthy challenge.
Battle 1. Fight.
Good news is I didn't do it properly
You should really give up.
either. So I'm unlikely to lose quite a lot of time. I just won't be able
Battle
to
2.
gain a bunch more
Fight.
time.
You should really give up.
This is our first battle with Luna. Marks her as our rival. We
Battle
actually
three,
face her more than any
fight.
other character in the game 4 times. The next closest is 3. And a couple is Kyle. Kinda weird to think they only fight Abelia and Gerardo twice.
Battle 4.
But they
Fight.
spend long time in the party, so. In fact, we fight them twice and their party is so long.
You should really give up. It looks like I won today, but who knows what'll happen next time.
So you could consider them the only ones that that are really like that. There are a few others you fight, especially all your main crew. You have to fight them in Chronicles 17, at least if you want them back. Nobody else is in your party for at least 5 Chronicles. You ever fight one of these? Let's see, go ahead and get rid of him now. I'm not going to be able to avoid fighting him, so. And she came out. Just kind of bad, not horrible, but
2. Final battle. Fight. Knockout.
Do you see now? You never stood a chance.
sometime, maybe this week when SGDQ is running things that don't look super interesting. I need to go through and fix all of my splits for SC percent. I mentioned this on occasion, but
A huge final battle. Fight.
the first speedrun I ever did was this game, Soulcalibur 3, Chronicles of the
It
Sword.
was a decent match.
And so I set up my any percent splits, and it's the easiest game in the world to set splits for because all of these things fall in these direct chronicles that are all numbered. If I wanted to be clever, I could be like some of those streamers that give, I don't know if I can have some of those regulations, but that's all I need. But then when I was doing Soulcalibur percent, I decided I could see the category and wanted to try it out. Which this is, by the way, the first instance where the fact that we're SD percent matters. Ashtaroth is the Soulcalibur character here. We have to fight him. That's what I've decided the requirements of this category are. I think it's an interesting little theme category, slightly more interesting than 80% because of these optional fights, plus these Soulcalibur characters and their alternate costumes is great. Ashtaroth is a treasure.
Decisive battle.
But at the same time, I'm not spending as much time as I would on a whole 100%. Of course, surprisingly, 100% doesn't take nearly as long as I thought it would. But it's the same thing for SC percent. Because the battles are so long and they're high level, I was really afraid that I'd have some trouble.
Final battle. Fight.
Look at that hammer. It's quite awesome. Anyway,
That was a pretty good
since I
warm-up
wasn't
fight.
sure just how much I would be spending fighting these guys and wanted to kind of measure that, I kept my... Also, I was very new with live split. So I decided to just see. Just left my old splits in there, managed to turn it into a new category on its own, but my best splits remain. So slightly slow because of the this isn't too bad stuff.
Decisive battle.
What if upgrading to 3 of Save the Stronghold? Possibly. It's one of those things I'm not sure of. Anyway, so I kept my old bests in there, so they're not my best any percent splits, but still all of these Chronicles with Soulcalibur characters are any percent,
Battle
so
one.
there's no way to gold
Fight.
them. Of course, 4 gold on the first 4 Chronicles.
You should really give up.
And Arion is extremely tall.
Did you enjoy my dance?
Yes, we did. Still just my favorite line of dialogue, which is I really love using this voice for the female dancer. It fits in a couple of ways. Some of the taunt commands that the voices give don't work for certain voice sets. It splits them in two because they're too long and the taunt isn't quite long enough because they're not all the same length. Lost 0.1 seconds, darn. Not surprised actually. All pretty. Okay. New strategy R2. Going to experiment a little bit. Because experimenting is fun. Yeah, I should experiment a little bit. Might be just a little bit faster. And therefore can get a tiny little bit more faster by going out even sooner.
What? Battle one. Fight. Battle two. Fight. Final
The
battle.
Final Fantasy V
Fight.
music battle is a big rig. Final Fantasy V Forge out the yesterday now too. It's a fun little time period,
I'll
but for
take
some
you on
reason I
anytime you want.
couldn't register for it this year. I don't know why. For whatever reason, it seems Gilgabot doesn't see my tweets from Twitter to try and register for it. I tried it twice and it never put me in the list or gave me a thing, which is really sad. It's kind of ironic too, because that's the entire reason I signed up for Twitter. I'm not a big social media person. The biggest social media I use is Discord for speedrunners. I'm in several of those for various marathons I'm trying to get games into, or for RPG Game Break, and the Soulcalibur for Soulcalibur gamers and things like that. I signed up for Twitter just so that I could do Forge on Fiesta, which I did last year. But I think for some reason they just stopped being able to see my memes around the end of the year. Yes, I don't have to fight Rowan here. That's actually pretty big. If he decided to start charging. This was one of those really fascinating Chronicles that I'd really like to know the RNG manipulation
Battle
behind.
1. Fight.
I say RNG, but it's actually totally.
You should really give up.
Just from playing this game so much and observing it, I've developed a tacit understanding of
Yours.
Battle 2.
how AI orders are given out, the programming of the AI, and some of them is extremely simple. Once you start hacking X, Y, or Z stronghold, some will run to defend
It was a decent match.
But some of them are in extremely subtle pieces of AI which determine whether they pull back, defend, move to attack you, move to attack your strongholds. And Rowan here is one of the biggest ones. For a large portion of the game, he'll often just run back and forth between the stronghold and the area right around where Ivy is. So normally I come around the side to get Ivy, because that's the quickest way to get her. But since I have to take the Citadel anyway, really, the stronghold, I just figured, hey, maybe it would be worth it to come through here instead.
Final
We'll soon
battle.
find out.
Fight.
I wasted a tiny bit of time by doing that.
My
Sometimes
blade
I
cannot be
enjoy
defeated
little
so
games
easily.
too much, like jumping off the cliff after. Delaying her falling out delayed her actually losing, which delayed the end of the fight. Shouldn't have done that, but just can't resist.
Final battle. Fight.
You should really.
There are like only 4 or 5
It
Chronicles
was a
that have a
decent match.
unique victory condition besides taking the main stronghold. This isn't one of them. However, many have alternate loss conditions. You have a lot more ways to lose than you do to win. And what this one is taking both halves of that bridge over on the right. If you let the enemy take your side of the bridge, you lose. If somehow you take their side of the bridge and then they take
Decisive
yours,
battle.
you're okay. But that's like nearly impossible to do under the circumstances. You just have to prevent that one from falling. So I always have to have a character over there, even on any percent, otherwise they'll take my stronghold before I can take the main one.
Battle 1. Fight.
Even with this good as bandits are trying to get the two strongholds included in the primary one before that is not doable.
Do you see now? You never stood a chance.
But there is one other thing unique about this Chronicle, and that's the fact that Rowan does run around. Rowan's the boss of the Chronicle, and pretty much every other Chronicle, the boss stays in their stronghold. And except for, 20, which has no Chronicles. It has no strongholds. But Chronicle 1, Abilia stays in stronghold. Chronicle 2, Gerardo stays in stronghold. Chronicle 3, Loki 1, aka, or not Loki, Chester 1, aka question mark, stays in the stronghold. Chronicle 4, Arion stays in the stronghold. This Chronicle no. Chronicle 6, Luna stays in the stronghold. Chronicle 7, Mooncalf stays in the stronghold. Chronicle 8, Isle stays in the stronghold. 9, Chronicle stays in the stronghold. 10, Chester stays in the stronghold. 11, Luna stays in her final stronghold. 12, Queen Aurelia is in her stronghold. Chronicle 13, Brynhilder stays in her stronghold. Brynhilda.
Battle 1.
They
Fight.
did that version of the Norse name. Time appropriate. She does actually pretty well. Brynhilder is I probably can't even pronounce that right. Despite the fact that my ancestors come from all the way, I am really horrible at pronouncing. Good thing she blew me if I let him come back way too hard.
Do you see now? You never stood a chance.
This was going extremely well, actually. This tactic is not bad at all. I'm going to save a bunch of time by cutting out a couple of random fights. Anyway, yeah, I can't pronounce any Norse names. Norwegian, Swedish, Finnish, Danish. I was gonna say Danish, but Denmark. No, Danish. Sorry, any Danish people out there. They're not even able to pronounce the name of your nationality. Chronicle 14, Ignis was always in his stronghold. Chronicle 15, Gerardo's in his stronghold. 16, Kagami is in his stronghold. 17, Aeolus is in his stronghold.
Fight.
18 is in hers, and Chester. Yes. So this is Chronicle where the boss wanders out of their stronghold. When I played this casually, I never fought anyone in the stronghold because they were all outside, and I defeated them all at the same time. You ever take the main stronghold and nobody can get in. The only reason they're in it now is because I don't fight these guys over on the side too long, and they all come back to defend.
Battle 3. Fight.
You should really give up.
I like this voice style because of the dialogue choices, the dancer, speech, and actions, and
Battle 4.
how it interacts with the taunt.
You can't get away.
Okay, that's
Did you enjoy my dance?
I enjoyed it more than I should have, actually. Since we were bouncing around so much. Yeah, that's really good. Full other minute on that one.
battle, fight.
Wings of the track for
It looks like I won
this
today.
battlefield.
But who knows what'll happen next time?
All the background music for the stages is determined by the stage itself, not by any event or anything. Each stage has its own background music, which is kind of nice and okay for the normal game, but I think it's actually a little bit lacking in Chronicles of the Sword, because they always have the decisive final battle music for the otherworld cathedral scene, or just the main cathedral scene where you normally have the penultimate fight against Optimal Nightmare or Siegfried, depending on how story mode goes. And it's great and all, but it's inappropriate when it's in the middle of one of these Chronicles. I think it feels too epic for sometimes ordinary battles. Just a little thing. Shouts to the music in the game. The music is great. I don't talk about it enough. I'm kind of a
Battle 1, fight.
silent appreciator of music for the most part. Loopy went
It looks
well.
like I won today.
Loopy's
But
generally
who knows
easy,
what'll
but
happen next time?
after my last run Thursday and everything went so haywire, every fight I have to be impressed with, because I had some really awful fights in the worst places. That always happens, but it's just the nature of the RNG of these kinds of fights. Let's have you fight. Hope that I don't lose any time by losing to Lizardman. I've been doing very well against him recently. I remember playing him casually, I lose a lot to him, but then again, when I play casually, I don't use dancers and katana-wielding sword masters all that much. I use all the other weapon styles, which are fun to play, but not
Final battle,
abusive.
fight.
Although preventing them from getting hit by ring out can delay the ending of the fight. Most other things I do won't, unless I grab and throw them. I used to try and do that a lot casually too, because I think it's fun. If I hit them and they're staggering around before falling, I grab them and perform a throw real quick just because it shows off. But that can delay the end of the battle, because you do have to totally finish the throw animation before they will, all the parts of it may have to hit the ground and finish taking their damage before it will actually end the battle.
Decisive battle.
Okay, Eloa.
The
With her little
battle
whirlwind.
1,
Not a
fight.
strong whirlwind, not a big deal. Did mean that first hit and I got pushed slightly.
You should really give up.
But it's not strong enough to prevent my combo
It
from
looks like
working.
I got lucky.
Higher level whirlwinds will push me out of the way of the enemy, so I can't do the spin to win stun lock combo. But this one's weak enough that, although it does disrupt me a little, I can still do the combo most of the time. But the later ones, it can work if it's just entirely dependent on if the AI decides to get up into my attack. And by coming around this way, we completely avoid Quake, which is annoying, and Ice, which is worse. And I'm gonna lose the Stronghold. If this were a competitive game, if anybody ran it besides me and we were ultra competitive
Decisive
and getting
battle.
PBs, we'd probably, one of us would almost certainly start into digging into some of the real nitty gritty of this game, stuff I kind of assume but don't know for certain. Like the fact that it seems to me that the zoom
So we meet again. Now, it's time to collect on your debt.
Battle 1. Fight.
What I mean is you have a move that happens every time a stronghold is taken or a battle starts outside your control. Like when you take a stronghold, somebody's going to start a fight with you instead of you doing it with them. It zooms over to them, and it seems to me that the zoom is scaled based. The speed of the zoom is scaled based on the distance, so the farther you are away, the faster it comes. So in all senses, it's equal. So it's not like it'll actually go load up, take less time if you're farther away. That isn't the case, but I don't think it makes any difference whether you're near or far because of zoom scaling.
You should really give up. Did you enjoy my dance?
Yes, we enjoyed your dance. But a lot of other speedrunners do things like go back to their speedruns and examine frame by frame to see how things go. If I was to try and do that, I don't think it's worth the trouble, especially since I'm not competing with anybody in this. I feel it does, so it might add up if a lot over time if there was a small amount by being close. But I just don't think that it's that necessary. And there's things I'd love to know about the RNG in the game and the possible ways to manipulate AI both in and out of combat and what I can do to reliably do it, but I have no skill in doing any of that myself. I'm training for it, and I just don't have the time I think to pour into it, not for a speedrun that I really enjoy, but that is at whole casual so that I'm the only one running it. Okay, let's patch these two. We're going to send Nash up there. Fortify this place up so that I don't have to fight any more battles on the side. Right. 1 fortify is all I actually need on this map, it turns out.
Battle 1.
Knowing that
Fight.
saves a tiny bit.
You should really give
How
up.
rude. My other favorite
Battle 2. Fight.
in-battle dialogue for my custom characters is Girl 1, Katana, that goes around saying, "Did I do it?" as she
It
charges
looks like I got
forward.
lucky.
I don't know, did you?
Final battle. Fight. Ring out.
That was a pretty good warm-up
Some of those
fight.
attacks are calculated and slightly risky on wasting a little bit of time. If they are already over and I hit them, it just actually knocks them slowly back up into the air, delays them falling out. I lose a tiny bit of time, but I also, it saves a lot more time for them to ring out than if they fall back inside the ring, so it's a calculated risk taking it just in case they're just going to fall back in, which they might because of their weapon attribute, or just because they happen to have enough air control.
What? Final battle, fight!
Hooray for Rock, the gladiator. That is
You are not worthy to challenge me.
one of the things about this game. Certain, you know, every game has their different places where you end it, which varies based on a lot of factors. Back, you know, to the original Dragon Quest speedruns in Japan, where they use RTA timing until the end because of inputs and various other things. They that you go from the start of the game on to there, so how fast the load up works. Other games, you're not quite sure when you exactly won until certain moments. So one of my favorite speedrunners, CotS, runs Final Fantasy 6 a lot. In Final Fantasy 6, the ending goes for you hit the timing for the ending when you trigger, see the flash of Kefka, the boss, flash that comes the boss. There's a brief pause and then a string flashes and then they start their dissolve. All the shaking sound effects and the rest. I kind of run into that issue a little bit in this speedrun because of the potential of ringing Strife out when he's near half health. That might not actually result in him dying. Seeing the ring out, normally I think, okay,
Battle 1, fight!
the plan is, or the idea is to victory when it tells me that I won, because it says KO.
You should really
Pretty much never gonna happen that I'll get a perfect on him. So theoretically, ring out would be the place too, but I could have a false victory
Battle
there
two,
if
fight.
he's not quite dead. Trigger it. But I was just looking at it, realizing probably what I ought to time on is his shield going dark. As he dies, her shield goes dark. That's what I need to
Did you enjoy my
watch
dance?
for the timing of calculating the final hit. Not a huge deal again, especially since this isn't a competitive category. I don't need to check milliseconds for a PB over AWAC or anything. But just actually something that I can optimize regardless of the situation. I'll start looking and remembering to do that. I haven't actually run into that situation yet, but it is something that I have thought about using them out. And one of them decides to run with the other direction. Don't ask me why. That one cat steps in.
Decisive battle.
Mooncalf has glue. Glue is not really a huge bother to me. Sometimes it makes it a little harder to get started.
Fight.
I love that hot glove she has. There's a couple of claws on it.
It looks like I
It's
won
actually one of
today.
my favorite.
But
I
who
haven't done
knows what'll happen
it
next
recently,
time.
but it's one of my favorite gloves to put on my female sword masters, especially when I use the back punch ability, punching with the Well, actually, punching with those claws is not very realistic because they curve down too much. You want to slash. And no real fighting style gives you that action, but definitely is still looks pretty neat to be attacking with that hand that's like that. Okay, 30 seconds. Time to try a new strategy here. Also need to properly scroll through the intro text. I want you to go on. I want to dash on one again. Trying to decide. Got a special purpose for one. How far I'll get this time with this experiment. Looks like I might get one, and that's all.
Final battle. Fight.
This has actually turned into a really interesting Chronicle trying that out. I need to practice it more, but I just don't practice it.
You should really give up.
Because it takes too long to get to
It
particular
looks like I
areas
won
that I
today,
want to practice.
but who knows what'll happen next
And
time.
even with my 2 different memory cards, I don't have enough saves to have a save at every Chronicle. Again, if I were more super serious, I'd probably just buy enough memory cards or go into invest the time into getting my emulated game up so that I could try and set up save states for all the Chronicles for testing purposes.
I prefer.
Final battle. Fight.
Because of that whole not sure how to act,
You should
some
really
of
give
these
up.
Chronicles are
Did you enjoy my
harder to work
dance?
around. They require a lot more. They still require work on maximizing them, especially on SC percent. I did quite a lot of little improvements on any percent when I last did it, but it's amazing how sometimes just routing in one extra fight changes the whole complexion of the speedrun. That's what happens here, just because I have to fight Setka up there. The route that I normally take would actually work extremely well if I were smarter about it. Maybe I should just keep trying it that way.
2. Final battle. Fight.
When I was first
You should really
playing
give
around
up.
with this, I routed in a couple of
It
ways
looks like I
to
won today, but who knows what'll happen next time.
grab a certain amount of allies because I was afraid of losing Halty's soldiers and therefore losing the Chronicle. It's actually harder than I really think it is to lose 3 as is necessary to do that, but so since then since I've realized that I don't need to save that many, I can
Battle 1.
I've been trying out different techniques, and one of the things I found is that they're actually not programmed to fight the Halty soldiers, they're programmed to come after me. So the fastest way I can
Do you see now?
through this
You never
Chronicle
stood a
is by
chance.
luring them into the Haltese soldiers, which will take a lot of time with them. Since I have bandits running through, if I'm in the right position, I shouldn't have to worry about them losing it all regardless. So I'm trying to figure out ways to do that. With my any percent now, I start at position 3, which is kind of over here. And then I run down this path. Run down this path, take out the Citadel. Fight cannon, save cannon there, fight my way through the troops attacking her. And then come from that Citadel. That stronghold. The problem is that all the guys converge on me anyway. If I let those guys up top fight Liraje, come through there. These guys on the side will charge out after me the other way, which is really fine. One thing I can do is come down here and take this thing as usual. Come down through there. And I've got my battle, so I can't show off what I'm trying to do anymore. Which, showing it off is difficult since my game capture has a delay, which Twitch stream already has a delay, of course, but there's a second delay just on the video, but not on my live splitter on my microphone. I need to revision to add a delay
I'm sorry.
sound or voice from other sources. So I'm trying to sync it up. I don't
It
know
looks
if
like
there
I
is.
got
I don't
lucky.
think there is. I've kind of looked around at it, but I'd really love it if that could happen because it'd make it easier. Since I do have a lot of downtime, I would love to interact a little more in real time between my actual video feed and things I'm trying to demonstrate and talk about. And also so that the live split doesn't look so off when I trigger it, because it looks like I'm doing all my splits early. Anyway, after coming through here, saving cannon, taking that stronghold, I could send one guy up that way, and then the other 3 through there. That'd probably save a bit of time. Okay, probably gonna get the dialogue after this encounter. That's enough guys defeated, I believe.
Final battle, fight!
Shadow and dog. Too slow.
Ring out! Fight! Knockout!
I'll accept your challenge anytime.
Yep, there it is. It takes priority even over Setsuka's dying. Oh, weird, that dialogue. Now Cannon's about to die. They'll take her out just before I take the stronghold. Kind of annoying, yep. Okay, Heil 1. All guard break. Not a break.
Decisive battle.
So far in 8 Chronicles, I've lost 0.1 seconds on my PB. And every other time gained.
I must move on.
I actually didn't expect him to use that attack that I just dodged. I expected him to use his thrust. The swordsman often uses a forward beat thrust when you're right up against the edge like that to try and bring you out. That swing probably would have done it as well if I'd been hit by it, but it's a bit too slow. I was able to slip around it. Lucky me. Okay, so saved a minute anyways. That's not bad. Almost a minute. Not quite. Okay, if I can do this one right, should be okay. Let's see. 2. I've had more trouble trying to find the optimal strategy on this Chronicle than any other, though. Although I think now 8 actually takes the cake. Just the little things of manipulating people around. There's a lot I can save there. This has actually turned fairly simple once I've remembered how to do it properly.
In final battle, fight.
Stay down! You should really give up. Did you enjoy my dance?
Sure did. Alrighty. Anybody going to come defend that? I think I've got this one mostly taken care of now, but there's still a few little things I can't quite remember what they go for. That guy should make it into here, so I'll fight her once. That guy I think runs out and defend there when we finish taking that stuff. For the most part, this one isn't too bad to understand the manipulation for. Let's see. This case, starting this battle not only lets me act quicker, it also, starting it myself, skips a dialogue. If you initiate a battle, it actually skips all dialogue that would be there.
What? Battle 1, fight.
Kind of interesting, I never thought about it before, but one of the things I've seen is that there are certain enemies that start battles automatically, rather than allowing you to do damage to them in the field. And my assumption is that because they're important characters, they want you to fight them and don't want you to cheat the battle by swarming over them with guys that way. But it actually... The other thing that all of those fights have in common is that the character initiating the battle against you has a line of dialogue when they meet you.
Battle 3,
From Strife
fight.
and Chronicle 20 to throw in Chronicle 12 and get your
Battle 4, fight.
and it makes me wonder if they just prioritize that battle because they get that dialogue.
Bring it on.
These fights are going pretty well.
Your final battle.
And now that I say that, Luffy's gonna be
You're open.
I was actually expecting a lot more trouble for that from her.
Did you really expect to get the better of my blade?
Not that I actually believe in jinxes, interestingly, but everybody else seems to believe in them. And I really hate it when they make note of that. It's like, oh, it's because you said it. That's the reason it happened. Yes, I'm sure. The device heard my voice and then caused the decided to change its programming on me because of that.
Decisive battle.
This is fine. This is actually potentially quite good. I just thought of this little twist. Mostly I'm doing what I remember seeing in all my real best versions of this Chronicle, but I just thought of an interesting twist that might deal with the one little issue I often run into. We'll find out. If I get a gold here, this will be a really
Battle
extraordinary
2. Fight.
Chronicle.
Did I do it? Goodbye.
Knockout.
It's over.
Battle 3. Fight.
Did I do it? It's over.
Battle
I really
4.
like,
Fight.
this is one of my favorite names for characters, like various things, Zara. Interestingly, the origin of Zara is a French concept, or not. It's a Citroën model that was popular when I was in France in 2002, 2004. XSARA, Zara. That's really cool.
Final battle. Fight.
Did I do it? Did I do it?
Cool name. Very basic card. Zara.
I'm sorry, but I must move on.
The character in my head that I've created for Zara is usually a thief type character, which is why I gave her this assassin style outfit. Oh, I really shouldn't do anything with her. Okay, Partha, fine. Eight minutes? It's gonna be close, but it should definitely be less than 12 minutes.
Battle 1. Fight.
You should really give up.
Partha's a dancer style character
I'm sorry, but
put
I
in my
must
head as
move
it were
on.
as well. The interesting thing of her origin is actually Final Fantasy Tactics. I've played the game a lot casually. Both her and Nash are two characters I had in one Final Fantasy Tactics game, which were initial characters I had. My best friend, Jinx Black, and I have always really delighted in that fun time. We've always had a lot of fun when we are playing games where we can name characters to name the characters after ourselves or our other friends and family. And it was really enjoyable in Final Fantasy Tactics because we could even give them a slightly, closer match to us by having them use the by giving them
battle.
the proper zodiac for their birthday. And of course, we always named ROMs after whichever one of us was playing. I named him Ronnie, Jinx Black named him Eric. gave us the appropriate birthday for us. So I often did that
Battle
too. I'd get
one.
rid of all the
Fight.
starting characters I had regardless of how they were, and then start making characters based on my sisters and my friends, naming them after them. So that was fun. But
Battle 2. Fight.
eventually I got to the point I was just playing one game. Nash and Partha were so good in my initial starting party. Nash had like a 75
Fight.
brave or something ridiculous, and Partha 70 faith. So I decided, heck with it, I'll just make them. I'll keep them around. That's 2 less characters I have to create.
Did you enjoy my dance?
And then because my mind works that way, I started just turning them into my own characters and making up story background for them and such. Ended up putting them into other ideas. Interesting that Partha evolved into a dancer, because in tactics, of course, tactics, dancers are actually physical-based unit, even though they look like they should be magic. And even though they're better at magic, not quite a gold, but this is such a good split. I did well. Okay, Chronicle 10 was where everything went totally to pot Thursday, so. The truth. It started out looking great because something that had never happened before. My time right before this, where I got my PB, the cavalryman on the left did something he'd never done before and decided to charge my unit instead of heading to attack one of my strongholds. Oryx here, that's right. Couldn't remember his name for a bit. Oryx usually, once I get past the bridge towards the Citadel, he comes riding across and then starts heading back down this way. But instead he chose to run straight to the side into the stronghold, so I had to fight an extra fight there. And Anoretta over there on the right, she always falls back into the stronghold, but last time she decided to run up this path and join Oryx in attacking. Okay, Oryx is attacking, that's good. And Anoretta is going to fall back now because she didn't trigger for whatever reason. Maybe if I accidentally ran somebody up that path for a second. I need to try that again. Because not fighting her would save another 30 seconds. If I could, that's one of the ways where actually I can save a lot of time by knowing how to manipulate the behavior of the AI on the map.
Decisive battle.
Okay. Demuth Anoretta Heil. Usually Anoretta.
A pathetic cur like you dares to take on this country, this king?
Battle 1. Fight.
Just had an error thought that I could, one way I could actually easily fix all my splits if I redo it by adding more splits. Like have a certain splits for each character I defeat, each major battle. Like this one would have Heil, Sungmina, and then maybe Kyrkis.
Battle 2. Fight.
And then the final battle against Chester. However, the one drawback to trying to use that strategy is if I do end up losing having to start Chronicle while Chronicle. I probably ought to treat it as that's just the loss of a run.
Really give up.
But if I were to do that and then try and continue on, then suddenly the previous split is invalid.
Battle 3. Fight.
Of course, theoretically, I could account for that too by I've got the command.
You should really give
Perfect.
up. It looks like I won today, but who knows what'll happen next time.
These fights, interestingly, weren't the problem last time. It was this invading force that caused me difficulties. Part of me is wanting to swap up my strategy because it went so bad, but actually, it normally works so well that, I don't know. I think I was just in a state where there was nothing I could really do. This is even more dangerous though, actually. I don't know why I'm doing it. It has the potential of saving a little bit of time. Good, I've got all
Battle 1.
mine. That's what's
Fight.
important. Fights can potentially go faster if they don't move away from the edge, since I can ring them out. Of course, I'm also vulnerable to it, but we'll see what happens.
Battle 2. Fight.
There, that's it, the sliver of health.
I'm sorry. Let's go.
Battle
Sometimes
3.
it's bad for the dancer to swing out because if it doesn't quite finish them off, even though it does so much damage, it might put them in, it puts them in a position where they're no longer in the stun lock, and trying to reestablish it can be difficult.
Battle 4. Fight.
This is actually going pretty well.
You should.
Final battle. Fight. Fight.
Stay down. You
That
should
was nice.
really give up.
Okay. Took a little bit of damage, but I'm okay.
It looks like I won today, but who knows what'll happen next time.
Crazy risky strats on the fly. I'm effectively doing this because I'm still tilted over Thursday. I don't know why I'm doing something that's even more difficult. Okay, do I want to double down on the strat or retreat for health? I'm gonna play it safe. I'm doing well enough. No need to risk this on a crazy feeling. Kind of nullifies the whole point of running out there anyway, but whatever. It changed things up enough that hopefully this will go well for me. God, I haven't lost with the Speedrun Strife before in that situation before. Just thrown such a wild it did so much that killing what was a pretty good run. That combined with
Battle 2. Fight.
Was it 12 those were? I can't even remember now. There's one other one. Yes, it was 12. I ended up trying to defend the wrong way and lost there as well. I was so tilted.
Final battle. Fight.
That's what cost me the 7. This basically turned the time spot where I was ahead to behind by about. Now I was 30 seconds ahead still. It was Chronicle 12 that turned a minute I'd gained by then through Chronicle 11 into an almost 8-minute red. Problem with the long speedrun like this is when you get that far behind the middle of the Chronicle, only halfway through the speedrun, you're left slugging through the other half, knowing that there's no way you're gonna get a PB. I've actually had a few that I got pretty bad one around half-ish and thought I'd never PB, but then I ended up managing it just barely, but... Okay, that was pretty horrible.
Battle 2. Fight.
Did I do it?
Oh. 2 down, yeah. That's a bit rough. Sung me the worst Soulcalibur character in the game for Chronicles with the sword.
Battle 3. Fight.
Favorite Soulcalibur character, but now that I have a fighter here on ice. She wouldn't even be all that bad if it wasn't for ice.
Ring out. Fight.
Thank you. Okay. Good enough.
You're way too weak.
The final battle. Fight.
I had this weird thought going into that fight that I was still on ice and I was going to be sliding everywhere. It was super easy and... God, I'm still tired. Spent so much time on ice, I suddenly felt like that was the normal way you play this game. And I'm like, oh God, this is going to be tough. He's flying out. Oh, I'll try and get him. Oh. Wow, that felt weird. Okay, no. I'm doing very decent for being so tired. Very impressed with myself. I'll probably lose a little bit of time here, but probably not more than like 30 seconds. my PB only had one loss to Sungmina. That's usually what I get. Part of me is saying, oh, you know, you do so well with Dancer on the rest of the items, Spin to Win still does okay. Maybe you could rely on that, but Sungmina just plays her AI a little bit better. I've tried that before and lost horribly, and keep getting that temptation in the back of my head, but I just don't know. There's no reliable way that I found to beat Sungmina on ice. She's far too aggressive with her knockback attacks.
All right. Surprised? Well, it's just as you see. I must protect this country. I have this brilliant plan of pitting Grandal and Dalkia against one another, and then rise to power during the resulting chaos. But because of your unexpected meddling, my plan is in ruins. You will pay dearly for this.
Battle 1.
Try
Fight.
Winchester. Try will be very good. Except Winchester.
You should really give up. I'm sorry, but I must move on.
Wow, not losing nearly as much time as I thought I would. If I could beat this Chronicle without losing to AG, that would be the perfect Chronicle. Alright, our favorite duel mission. I'd really be able to be able to get into the game's code and make
Decisive battle.
my own Chronicles using that we've gotten here. A hacked version of this that was a randomizer actually. Randomizers are all the rage now. This would be an interesting randomizer. It had random enemies in every
Battle 1. Fight.
mission. Chronicle and random missions on all the strong ones.
You should really give up.
Even if it was only random, that every single
looks like I
stronghold
got lucky.
mission and every unit on the map were randomized, it would be pretty interesting. Even assuming that you couldn't they couldn't change flags like defeat Strife to win this Chronicle or defeat Amelia to win this one. Those are the only two, I believe, where you actually have to defeat a specific character, although that's taking the main citadel. So you could random every other character in the game across the entire
Decisive battle.
format. So you get a randomizer seed where all of the Soulcalibur characters are in the tutorial.
Battle 1. Fight.
Theoretically, some Nina fight could go just like that,
It was a
but
decent
I've never had
match.
success that way whenever I played it before. Maybe I ought to try getting a game and saving it at 10 and trying it and seeing if I can manipulate her into surviving the initial foray and then getting into that actual, just get the combo on her reliably. real vulnerability of Spin to Win is the setup time required before you go into Spin to Win. And then the timing of it is perfect for the enemy getting up most of the time, as long as they don't delay their right. So the hardest part, what I always say, are the better AI are generally just the more aggressive ones. If they come out with an attack that doesn't go high, because I'll slide under an attack that's high, but if they do a medium or low attack that's fast right out the gate, that hits me and puts me in a state where I can't then, you know, if they keep doing that, there's no way I can do it, because that's how I win. This is the bad road. Like that.
You should really give up. It looks like I got lucky.
There are a few things that I try that I figured out that work pretty well for fooling the enemy and coming out a little bit quicker and putting them in a state where they're not as aggressive, so I can follow up. But if ever they decide to just ignore my attempts and get aggressive on me, I can't do anything. And Sungmina is super aggressive, plus I have a harder time recovering because I'm on ice. If I could get her in that stun lock, theoretically it would go the same as it does with anything else, even on ice. She tends to spin close enough that, and they tend to roll around away from the edge, so my odds of spinning on the edge are pretty low. Timing there. Okay, let's see how I do against Impregnable today.
Battle 1. Fight. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3,
Okay, I did lose a second, but I did so much damage to her I shouldn't lose a second. I can probably just double A and double B her to death at this point. Provided I don't let her continue to grab.
Battle 2. Fight. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
Yes, okay. This is a pretty standard one then.
It looks like I got lucky.
A little bit weak, I think. I spent a bit too much time taking damage in that one, but shouldn't be too bad. Okay, final Luna.
Decisive battle.
So you've come, part 1.
So you've come. This time, it will not be like our previous encounters. See if you can defeat this sword.
Battle 1. Fight.
You should really give up. Did you enjoy my dance?
She's using that line of dialogue a lot more today for both of actions. One of the interesting and slightly sad things about custom characters in this game is if they're using a solo style, which is one of the 23 original the Soulcalibur character styles. So save time. I actually gained time there. I'm surprised, even with saving. It's been a while since I've saved. Not a huge thing, but annoying. Okay, time for another new strategy to try to work. Not game 3, I wanted 4, I want everybody else up. 9 more for some. There we go. Okay. Alright, 17 minutes with 2 going that way, yeah. Only these last couple times has anybody ever come that way before. Now it's happened twice in a row. Not sure what inspired it. But this is pretty much ideal. Yeah, this is exactly what I want.
Decisive battle.
Oh, I don't need to go that way either. The last few times I've been playing this as if I were doing 100% as well, which is silly. I don't need to do that.
Battle 1.
Fighting these
Fight.
guys is actually faster than trying not to. They're so aggressive towards me, so it's dangerous to follow. Chronicles just so long, but I don't need to take it strong.
Battle 2. Fight.
Danger of doing things entirely without notes. Sometimes I forget exactly what my ideal strat is.
Fight.
Women's armor, battle, plate mail, and miniskirt.
That was a pretty good warm-up fight.
Battle 1. Fight!
You should really give up.
My timings on my charging AB attacker seem to be much better today.
Final battle.
That's where I was kept taking hits Thursday. Mostly just on my charge. And then I wanted to get recovery to knock him down so I could go into my combo.
It looks like I got
I only
nothing.
fought 2. How is that possible? He was swinging. Now I have to do it again. That's a small time loss. Oh well. I think it doesn't actually count most of the time that they're there until they actually hit with their first swing. I guess he had to wait to hit yet. Come on, Owen.
Final battle. Fight!
You should really give up.
Jeez, stats are so horrible.
I'm sorry, but I must move on.
That fight was so short I almost had time to glance over and see the class on the stream, but I just missed it. Pretty sure that was a thief though, just died too easy. Saints can also use daggers. As well as sword use, of course. What am I doing? What I'm doing for a minute. It's not good, not good.
Decisive battle. The battle 1. Fight! Ring out! Final battle. Fight! Ring out! Fight! Knockout!
Be careful.
Katana wielders, on the other hand, it's always good to ring out and take down as much life as possible, because I don't have any real stun lock that I put them into. It's just as easy to knock them down with shoulder charge from neutral position as it is to do it to them getting up. Sometimes it's easier. I guess they're more likely to block. No. What am I doing? The whole point of this is to go up and get Cassandra. Nice. Not that far though.
Decisive battle.
Wasting little bits of time there. Oh well. I think this strat will work especially well for
It's battle 1. Fight!
my end percent. My end percent, but let's see if it's good enough. SC
Fight.
percent. Still may not be 100%.
Knockout!
Die.
Final battle.
Usually I prefer
Fight.
for all my enemies together. That's part of the idea of this strategy. It's part of my doom. I had too many at once. I ended up losing.
I'll accept your challenge
Since they had just been taking the
anytime.
Citadel, it was gone. And I had to reload after 5 minutes. This avoids that fate at least, but I think it's actually more a safe strat than a fast strat. We'll see how much time it loses me based on my If I lose time, then I'm only halfway done with the Chronicle, which is actually more correct than you think.
Final battle, fight!
Did I do it? Did I do it? Did I do it? Did I do it?
Knockout!
It's over. It will be a long time before my sword is complete.
Perfectly timed that time.
What? Battle 1, fight!
Did I do it? You can't get away. Did I do it? Goodbye. Did I do it? Did I do it?
You final battle.
Sub 2 hour
fight.
Chronicle 12 would be.
Did I do it? You can't get away. Did I do it? Did I do it? Goodbye. Did I do it? Did I do it? Did I do it? Did I do it? It's over. It will be a long time before my sword is
Took some
complete.
pretty amazing chip damage.
Decisive battle.
I don't think either one will be able to make it, even with only 3 characters.
Final battle, fight! Now!
Nice, nice.
You picked the wrong person to fight.
Decisive battle.
I don't think I'll quite get a sub 2 Chronicle 12.
Fate. Final battle. Fight. Ring out.
This really wasn't a fair
Turns out that that's
contest.
probably the better thing to use. The little twists on hitting people in the air while you're using shoulder charge is what is one of the little things I can study and work on this entire time. For a long time, I just did my usual kind of areas somewhat haphazardly. Then I figured out I could get them close to ring out by doing the jump spinning kick after, but only if it's if they're at the right angle compared to the thing, depending on how much damage you do. Then I got to doing that so much I was doing it even in caged arenas. I'm like, I'm wasting time like this. I'm not doing nearly enough damage for worth the time of pushing them away. Had what I thought were decent combos that work some of the time, but otherwise they recover too quickly to maximize the damage. And my main aerial combo is used the just two-step variant. But as it turns out, down forward B is still seems to be by far the most reliable damage in an air combo and immediately following. Yeah, I'm not quite gonna
Decisive battle.
but it's on the table. If I play just about as well as I did in these early ones and get a few of those, do better on Chronicle 9, don't try and save, and then do a few things better, do this mission a little better.
So, you've
So
come.
you've come part 2.
Worthless servant of strife, you shall pay with your blood. For daring to defy me!
Battle 1. Fight.
You should really give up. You should really... It looks like I got lucky.
Sub 201 is still what I'm gonna get, that's not bad. Yeah. I definitely can do armies there. I'm not doing what I just did. It's low risk but low reward play. I just really had to do it after it tilted me so bad last time. Oh, there's one guy defending me. I won't be able to do that.
Decisive battle. Battle 1. Fight. Fight.
Oh yeah, it's Cure. I was wondering how I got a perfect since Mirasame lowers my health constantly, and the last hit is
Battle
not
2.
lifesteal. But I've got Cure on as well.
20 bars, number 1. 5 bars.
You are not worthy to challenge me.
Decisive battle. Battle 1. Fight.
Bar 2 is
Ring out.
Do you see
I stream at a
now?
very
You never
unusual
stood a
time for an
chance.
American. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, my local time when I get up. I get up at that time to go to work, so even on weekends, normally you like to sleep in during that, but I found that it's just one of the more convenient times for me to get up. So if I'm not overtired from that lack of sleep
Decisive
during the
battle.
work week. Yesterday I didn't quite have the energy to get up that early, but I still couldn't keep sleeping past a couple hours later, so I got up to do a quicker speed run.
Final battle. Fight.
We're almost approaching last
It was a decent
first
match.
base levels. One of the nice things about doing this early weekends is that my housemates aren't there too. I don't have to worry about them being down here and distracting with causing background noise. Darn it. I might have saved time actually getting them. I can't believe that I wasn't able to push through in time.
Watched over. Battle 1. Fight. Ring out.
Battle Ninja Maid.
Fight.
Gotta love it.
Knockout.
I'll take you on anytime you want.
Final battle. Fight.
You should really give up. It looks like I won today.
I really
But
had to
who
get
knows
up
what'll
this
happen
morning
next
though,
time.
and no matter how tired I feel, I wanted to get one last speedrun in before SGDQ, because Not only do I think that, because I think that over this week everybody else should be watching SGDQ. Even with my few viewers. I'd mostly rather be focusing on SGDQ and watching it more and supporting it than speedrunning, and surely with my few viewers I'd get even less if during SGDQ.
2. Battle 1. Fight!
Something interesting about the sword style. Every buddy has 5 basic throws. All the Soulcalibur characters do. You have a your horizontal guard throw and your vertical guard throw, your AG throw and your BG throw, basically. And then you have your 2 side throws and your back throw. However, when they made their custom character sets, because they are simpler, not real weapons, I guess there are several things that indicate that the
You can't stop
weapons
me.
designed for custom characters in this game were definitely low quality, not a lot of effort put into them weapon styles, and one of which is that they don't have any side throws, actually. They just have the AG throws, which happens most of the way around the character, and doesn't from back, so you do have a different back throw. Most of these throws are copied from other techniques anyway, but what they call the Chinese sword technique, which is what that Shu used just in the previous battle, they do have the side throws. And one of the reasons is because the character that they use for that set in the main game is Huang,
Decisive battle.
who is a kind of the sort of pre-Sophia character in Soul Edge. I can't remember what point they took him out, but he wasn't in Soulcalibur 2. I can't remember if he was in Soulcalibur or not. I've only played Soulcalibur a little bit after
Now,
downloading it on my
Battle
360.
1. Fight!
But he was out by Soulcalibur 2, but still kind of an important character. That's the main feel the game gives about it anyway.
Final battle. Fight!
Yeah, here's Maxie. His blonde hair. That mushy cigarettes being blonde is
Cannot be
still pretty
defeated
cool.
so easily.
But they have a couple of shoutouts to previous characters that were briefly appeared in Soul Edge or other versions of it, like Arthur and Lei Long as well. But since Huang actually does have a story related to other characters, he's from the same village as Sun Yun and Yinsong, they decided to sort of bring him back. And they actually did when they ported this game to arcade, which is the only port the game's received so far. They did take the character and they did add Huang as a regular playable character. None of the other special styles, I believe, are available in the arcade. I haven't played it myself, but I've read about it. Thought that was interesting. And I think it's related to the fact that either before or after they decided that was going to be a thing they were going to do, they gave Chinese Sword those 2 side throws that none of the other special weapons have. Only had a taunt too. Technically, the Sword and Shield is the one style amongst the common ones that gives you that
Decisive
has
battle.
a taunt command, but it's not actually a taunt. The character goes He-Man and thrusts their sword towards the heavens and a lightning bolt comes down and zaps them, but it's actually like a secondary soul charge ability. It empowers some of their other attacks. So it's the only taunt attack that has a
Battle 1.
major
Fight.
in-game battle effect. I guess the only one that is any battle effect because as they demonstrate in some videos, there's some interactions with some of them. Like Sung Mina, who puts her Zanpakuto, sticks the butt of it on the ground, and then uses it to support herself as she hops up and down laughing. And when she's hopping up and down laughing, she counts as jumping, so she's able to ground attack.
I'm sorry, but I must move on.
They demonstrate that in the special
the special E3 demonstration video that I love so much that they have in the movies that you can purchase and look at. Really great. She's fighting Xianghua. Sungmin and Xianghua are fighting, and Sungmin puts her the butt of her weapon on the ground, starts doing that jump taunting, and then Xianghua crouches and does 2 spinning kicks, and they go underneath her feet as she hops up. I'm not sure if you actually have to be in that position that the are they gonna get close enough? Ooh, is it close enough? No. Ha. Brunhild.
Decisive battle.
Brunhild is a fairly more English translation of the Valkyrie Brunhilder from the Epic of Siegfried. Because I've been playing other games like Fate Grand Order that have the actual real Brunhilder, it's a little bit harder to It's been hard to remember exactly what her name is. There we go. Hey, not bad. Yeah, it's only a minute on
My blade cannot be defeated so easily.
Very, very annoying separate though, pushing me away like that. It's bad enough tactic anyway, but it's especially bad with facing somebody with a long-range weapon like the lance. Okay, the easy Chronicle. Okay, time to try out another new strategy. Oh, bless. Oh, we did it again. Hello, Lynette. Good to see you again. I'm glad you're the
Welcome to
shop
my
room
store.
purchase.
Can I help you
Why
find
don't you
something?
operate like any other
Farewell,
menu
good
menu
luck.
wrap around by pressing
Please come
up that
again.
one more time? Just about every other menu in the game wraps around, but not Once again, I have no idea what effect this is actually going to have.
Final battle. Fight. Knockout.
You picked the wrong person to fight.
What? Battle 1. Fight. Knockout. Battle 2. Fight. Knockout.
I'll accept your challenge anytime.
The problem is that I'm fighting these guys in chunks, which is slowing me down. That was true of my last attempt, though, too.
This is your
Final battle. Fight. Now.
I forgot to change this voice actually.
You picked the wrong person to fight.
Nash should have a younger, more cocky voice. Oh well. I'll remember that for next time. I'll probably reuse Nash again. I've been reusing a lot of the same. I've been recently making a lot of characters based on video games and stuff, but I keep reusing the same one. You know, it takes a lot of effort to come up with new ones. A lot more effort to try and make it look like someone. As fun as it is, it's really fun to do that, but it takes a lot more effort than to make my own characters. So except for one exception, I've made just pretty much random characters of my own that I'm very strong in.
Decisive battle. In battle 1, fight.
Okay, that should be the last fight that Sharon is in, luckily. That was
That was a
very
pretty
close.
good warm-up fight.
Mitsurugi can be really tough. He has the samurai, which has the best stats in the game. In addition, it's a very strong style, and he is level 60. It's a good thing it's this late in the thing, and that it doesn't have a better thing than All Guard Break. All Guard Break isn't nearly as intimidating as since you're guarding, you're still allowed to recover. That's great. That saves me one guy that I have to fight. Go ahead. I'm not going to overtend this, so I might as well get it over with. Unfortunately, that means there's only one guy on the map I'm going to end up not fighting, but not a huge deal, I believe. I'm still only halfway through the Chronicle, which...
Battle 1, fight.
Sorry, no, we have to go to more battle pass.
You should really give up.
Level 14, nobody's.
Battle 2, fight.
Just go down.
Stop. There.
You should really
For
give
another
up.
dancer, especially such a low level, it's giving me such trouble. It's kind of ironic. We find out it's kind of actually suggested from
Battle
the
3,
opening
fight.
that Chester's alive. He's talking to Strife.
You should really give up.
Which kind of sort of, if you pay a lot of attention during the game and do the
previous stuff about it, you know that Strife is the Emperor of Grandal, but it's kind of subtly hidden, so you might not understand.
You should really give up.
Especially the first time you see Strife on screen, there's nothing that tells you that, oh, this is actually Strife, if you aren't already familiar with it.
Battle 5. Fight.
And it makes it especially confusing with the dialogue in the Chronicle after you fight him, because, like, wait, what?
Final battle. Fight.
Finally. Get up.
You should really give up.
But,
It looks like I won today, but who knows what'll happen next time.
but considering that Strife, if you know Strife is the Emperor and see him talking to Chester, that, you know, raises warning bells. Like, oh, Chester's alive. What's he doing talking to our Emperor? And what's he talking about right before this battle when all these rebels are attacking us? And combined with the things they say at the end of this Chronicle, and finally in Chronicle 16, it's like, oh, these aren't actually rebels. They were chased around us in the middle of the night. They are actually Grandal soldiers pretending to be rebels and trying to assassinate Partha. Because, you know, she's going to probably want to get her out of the way.
Decisive battle.
It's kind of interesting, though, that he picked such weak soldiers to do it. Weak and pathetic soldiers. You thought he would have prepared,
Battle
instead of just
1.
keeping them
Fight.
all definitive material, some of his elite forces he has from Chronicles 16 onwards to assassinate. Of course, gameplay-wise, that wouldn't be fair to have
My blade
such a
cannot be
dangerous
defeated
battle
so
at this
easily.
point in the game when you're so limited in your characters you can use, but then again, I wouldn't say that Chronicle 16 is fair at all, giving you only 3. Boy, actually, I'm getting tired. Hour and a half left. You can do it. Go back and go to bed. Until I don't want to risk my main character fighting Taki, because if I lose the whole Chronicle. And she's dangerous enough for it to not be worth it. I can probably take her out, but it isn't worth the risk. Because it's a non-zero risk, unlike the regular rebels, and even the boss of this campaign, who's super weak.
Battle 1. Fight.
Seriously, that jumping attack, that was your best idea?
My blade cannot be defeated so easily.
Okay, this isn't doing awful, but I don't think it's going to take too much time. Of course, I've been fighting off a lot of battles. Fortunately, it's just one of those where I'm trying to minimize the amount of troops I have to fight, but I have to fight a lot of people regardless of where I go. Maybe a triple action pulling through there, taking that strong, and then popping down and putting Taki to this side, and then sending one guy over here to deal with these 30.
would actually go a bit quicker. Still trying to come up with a proper method for this. I've got any percent down. You start everybody there, hit those 2 Chronicles, hit those 2 strongholds. You fight about half the guys. You go charging this way, the rest of them coming after you are not going to be anywhere close to finishing anything off. 1 minute left to this fight.
Decisive battle.
I actually did save time last time, I'm pretty sure. So somehow, even though I thought that this would be a little bit quicker, it ended up not being.
Battle 1. Fight.
You should really give up. It looks like I won today, but who knows what'll happen next time.
So what, I'm gonna save about 10 seconds? Well, better than nothing. Better than losing time. Did I go into the shop here too? I know I went into the shop recently. Was it this Chronicle or last Chronicle? I can't remember. Okay, General Gerardo. I did something weird last time. It ended up not being as bad as I thought it would be. I still think you just make those quicker. Ended up saving me a bit of time over my PB though. Could have just been because the Gerardo fight went extremely well. Gerardo is probably the worst fight in the entire
Final
game,
battle.
except maybe
Fight.
for Emperor Strife. Strife would be worse along with Guardian Force. It's just that power bone ability not being affected by anything at all. It's kind of convenient that it picks who fights randomly and kind of goes from the bottom up, because that means I don't have to worry about my main character being involved in the fight or not being involved in the fight. Action. Yeah, that's an idea. That's how I'm gonna do it.
Decisive battle. Two. Battle 1. Fight. 3, 2.
You should really give up. It was a decent match.
Okay, let's see how well this worked. If I can focus them in that stronghold, they'll save a lot of time.
Final battle. Fight.
This might be one of my
Ring out. Fight.
This one's hard because of my those cavalry are actually going to be getting there
This
unimpeded.
really wasn't a
Cavalry
fair
aren't normally
contest.
that much of a threat, but my stronghold is so much weaker than theirs, and I have so many to go through. I think I am going to die. That would explain why some of those are. Why I didn't do badly with that, though, because taking that stronghold up there, even though I took an extra one, preventing them meant I didn't have to fight them. It's an idea. I don't get that far. However, a little bit of quick thinking. It's too bad you can't fortify. If you can spend gold fortifying up your main citadel without limit, there's actually a couple of tricks I could do, especially on any percent. I could actually see if you could win this fight without, win this battle without getting failed on or and then seeing if
Battle
what
2.
happens if you
Fight.
try to.
Goodbye. Did I do it? Did I do it?
See what happens if you win this scenario without your fail points. Whichever one you defeat first ends up in your joining your team at the beginning of the next Chronicle and has dialogue with you.
I'll gladly.
Battle 3.
What happens if you
Fight.
don't have either of them?
You can't get away. Goodbye. Did I do it? Goodbye. Did I do it? It's over.
Final battle. Fight.
Did I do it? Did I do it? Did I do it? Goodbye. Did I do it? Goodbye. It will be a long time before my sword is complete.
Did I do it? Did I do it? Good question. Oh wow. Not exactly bad though. I didn't quite make it all the way through because of my delays, but at least that means that I don't have to.
Battle 1. Fight.
Rudiger. Okay, so that actually answered the question I had earlier. I wondered if it was just dialogue actually more than the characters that prompted automatically starting battles, but Rudiger began this battle automatically though he didn't have any dialogue, so it is actually based on characters and not dialogue. Every previous one I've ever had that happen to has some sort of dialogue when they start the fight. At least as far as I remember. May have one when I wasn't thinking about it, similar situation.
My blade cannot be defeated.
I just
so
assumed that it was based on the characters because they're all important ones. But then I realized they also had dialogue and just wondered if that was actually the trigger rather than these are important characters. The fact. But no, it's definitely characters. I know that. Since I waited, I can now just charge it. Okay, let's try this. Alright, so if there's hopefully 2 characters is all I'm not going to be fighting as long as neither of those 2 retreat into that citadel before I get there. Which it doesn't look like they're moving at the moment, so I think I have to take this stronghold before they're triggered, which is good.
1. Fight.
That means I should be able to avoid fighting them because they take their time. Powerful extend!
Did I do it?
Fight.
Did I do it? Did I do it? Did I do it? Did I do it?
Ring out.
It will be a long time before my sword is complete.
Okay, a little less than 7 minutes left for 2 battles and 3 strongholds, one of which is about to fall. So if Yoshimitsu is in a pain here, that's going to be a pretty major time. If I end up losing to him. Which is very possible. He is also a katana wielder. There's an easy ring out on this map, so he can easily ring me out. His level 60 samurais are powerful, and he's one of the random AI. Sometimes he's very difficult, sometimes he's pretty easy, but usually he's strong. Okay, that's a good start.
Fight.
Hey, nice.
It will be a long time before my sword is complete.
Sorry, your dialogue takes too long. One battle is it. It's Gerardo and the super long cutscene. But still, this looks like it might be a decent time. I'm at 80%. Start everybody up here by my northeast, if I come and back this one, and then cut through there. Keep one guy on hand there in order to defend that stronghold against the 4 that can charge me up from below. Works out, one of those works out really well. It's a lot harder when you have to devote time to, you have to get some of these other ones though to get Yoshimitsu and Boldo. Yoshimitsu is actually a range of my normal strat. I actually used my normal strat last time, which is one of the things that kind of weirded me out that I did so well, because I had to take an extra citadel and below to take that one. That one right there, in addition to pushing up to the north, so I took a whole extra one than I usually do. But because I did take that northern citadel, the 2 cavalry who were charging had to charge to my base, I was able to actually completely ignore. Okay, so you've come part 3.
So you've come.
Battle 1. Fight.
I need to learn to listen to the actual, yeah, that's Japanese dialogue until I get used to that phrase in Japanese, because it's funny.
It's over! It's over! It's over!
Those are just one good, 2 average. I'm not doing too well, but I'm trying hard to do attack. That was a good recovery though, I ended up doing a lot of damage. And Ichigo's the lowest level I've got, so I have a decent chance of taking him out with this next hit, in which case I'll save some time. Oh, Zara's pretty low level too, though.
Did I do it? Did I do it?
Let's do his average. Let's do his pretty average.
Did I do it?
What does it look like I'm going to do?
Knockout.
Yep. out at the very end there. That's hilarious. Okay. 2.5 minutes almost, yeah. This should be pretty close
Come on.
to...
Battle 3, fight!
You're over! This is the end! This is the end!
Thank you for wasting your help. That's it. We're done. Thank you for killing yourself.
Did you really expect to get the better of my blade?
You are strong. But you do not yet know where to direct that power.
Ah, yes.
Right now, your strength is controlled by others.
I don't think I'm on a 345
Think
pace.
for a moment.
Uh,
For whom do you wield your power? For
I've
what
managed to make it
purpose?
this far, so
And
I should
against
be able
whom?
to get this without getting too wonky. Maybe that's not a bad strat after all what I
You
did
must
last
learn
time.
to control that strength yourself. Otherwise,
Provided I play better, but I haven't totally tilted yet, even if fatigue's
you
getting
will
a
never
tiny bit.
become
I'm not doing bad, so.
a true warrior.
And this guy with Soul Edge to stab Gerardo. I'm trying to remember if there's anything anywhere that shows you that you can use to figure out that Strife is that is Emperor Strife, if you haven't played the full game before. Aurelia mentioned Strife. I can't remember if any of the intro things mentioned that Strife is the name of the Emperor. Also, his name is Strife and he has a big sword. Totally not a Final Fantasy 7 reference. It might not be, because he doesn't have spiky hair. If he did, then that would be too obvious. Yep, half a minute saved. Not too bad. Not as much as I would hope, but pretty good. Theoretically, I take one more Citadel going this way, but I can also... No, I don't actually, because I have to take that one anyway. That's what I figured out. At first, when I started, everybody up here was going this route. I'm like, it's not really that good an idea. I have to go through 3 and then jump down bottom. Normally, I can just come across straight through here, down, and then up. So it's in one quick loop and saves time, but it's still 3 strongholds either way. I still have to fight all the guys in the float area. There's no way to avoid that, so I get 3 at once here.
Decisive battle.
And then I can choose more carefully who I send down to beat Sauce Holomel. Which I don't like to do in my dancer because it tends to be harder for me to set up one of my knockdown hits on him than it does my Swordmasters. For some reason,
Battle 1, fight!
since he's very aggressive, it's hard to get time to use him. So it's about a 50% chance, but it's 99% chance of beating with the Swordmaster just because he doesn't know quite how to
Battle
react
2,
to the...
fight!
I'm sorry.
Doesn't know how to
You should
shoulder
really
charge,
give
so
up.
that's a quick knockdown. Insta-win. Again, it's a very fascinating mission.
Battle 3, fight!
It can be very frustrating to accept it. That's one of the least problematic parts about and almost not bad things we're going through.
You should really give up.
Did you enjoy my dance?
Worst Chronicle in the game though, because it's so big and you only have 6 people. 20 minutes is what I spent last time, which is kind of rough, but it's actually more about average. I'd really like to get about a 17-minute here on Soulcalibur percent, but
Decisive battle. Fate. Battle 1. Fight.
You should really give up. It was a decent match.
Decisive battle. Battle 1. Fight.
You should really give up.
Battle 2. Fight.
You should really give up. It looks like I won today, but who knows what'll happen next time.
okay, that was a good pair of fights. Okay, well, those two takes us all know. Hopefully, these are both tough characters that could do a lot to me, but if all goes well, I can take them out right here. Then get started on Yuan Song and Talim. And if I can get through this Chronicle without any deaths whatsoever, it's gonna be a huge time save.
In Battle 1. Fight.
Say that. Alright.
You should really give up.
I survived the fourth part. Unfortunately, I have to fight the next character now. Maylene.
Final battle. Fight.
You can't get away.
Got it. Unfortunately.
Fight.
because I knocked her out, that makes the battle go quicker because I wasn't able to regenerate much health. So being this low for Talim and Yunsung is likely to be a death too. I still have to. Zasamel can still troll me. It seems like I always beat him, but I'm always one hit KO means danger regardless. And I have a good chance of overthinking it and leaving myself vulnerable. If it is a one shot. One shot if you get knocked down. That's the important part. So if he hits us with a normal attack, but it doesn't knock us to the ground or knock us back or knock us up, it will not be a KO and I'll be able to recover. If I hit him with shoulder charge, that is a one-shot KO, period. Here it comes. Not involved yourself with that sword. I shall have to kill you.
Decisive battle.
The truth of that sword must remain hidden from the world. Impressive. You're better than I expected.
Battle 1. Fight.
There we go. My usual tactic in general against higher level things with the shoulder charge is to slide up slightly, slide to the side like that, and that usually, because early on I can just charge your shoulder charge, and the low level, low AI enemies will just take it immediately. I'll go into a combo. Against higher level enemies, it's a little bit trickier. They tend to block immediately when I try that, and if they're in a blocking state of mind, my shoulder charge doesn't do anything. But when I slide up to the top like that, it changes their AI patterns. They usually get a little bit flustered in a way, but they're not instantly on the defensive, so my shoulder charge is able to come in and hit them. Using the same strat on Zaselmo tends to inspire him to do just that little wide sweeping attack. It comes out fast and hits me, but it doesn't do a knockback, which is the most important thing. So it means nothing. He doesn't do any follow-ups after that, not immediately, so I'm able to hit him with shoulder charge. Still, I always have that fear at the back of my mind that he'll instead lash out with one of his knockback attacks he loves so much. Because he usually does that against my dancer. So
Battle 1.
unless I'm
Fight.
smart enough to, good enough to dodge it. Saw that coming with my health so low. If I get lucky, I can keep her Sun locked. The thing that's most difficult about this is the whirlwind is very strong, so it makes it very difficult to do my usual follow-up combos. Swordmaster is better than in these fights. Well, kind of. It kind of depends. But usually I do pretty well with Dancer, but just is extremely vulnerable to being hit by Ring Out. If I'm lucky, the Sunlock kind of works, but they have to cooperate. They have to stand up
You're way too
in a
weak.
position where I can hit them basically by rolling forward towards me. If that happens, I can keep them stun locked, but they don't always cooperate, especially if I'm low. Kind of rough to lose her there, but not the worst thing in the world, since that's the first death of this Chronicle. One death is acceptable, and still a bit of a time save. No deaths will be a time save. Fortify this up so I'll regenerate here. Regenerate the cover, come back to that. I say things like regenerate because that's basic kind of game lingo for returning, healing up. But it's probably not really correct because there's not that much mysticism in the universe. Oh, I died, but I'm getting healed in the back to tank or something. Photo tank. That's convalescing. That's an English word you don't hear often. The last fight is one of the easiest ones in the entire Chronicle. It's not super easy. Gami can be kind of troublesome, but just compared to a lot of his units, it's not that intimidating. He also has all guard break, which isn't intimidating at all. But this fight is a much worse one than the final fight. So I'm going to be fighting two. Usually she isn't too tough, but she is level 47 and has a better AI than most tambourine users. So even though she's a dancer, she is troublesome. But the samurai ninja girl here, Konomi, she's the real trouble. Especially with the map it's separating. That makes both of these fights harder than they otherwise would be. And again, it means that I only will be able to stun lock combo them if they decide to cooperate. Theoretically, that's always the case, because if they ever decide to, whenever they decide to not get up all the way, my follow-up spin, the stun lock stops, because I'll hit them while they're down and do about half damage to them, but then they'll get up immediately and have time to respond before my next spin comes out.
Battle 1. Fight.
But it's rare that they do that. It's a lot less rare that they get them to the side, just like that. Really trolling, mixing it up. There we go. Okay, that one wasn't too bad. Let's see Konomi now.
Battle 2. Fight.
Did I do it?
Bring out.
The second death is going to turn this into a bit of a wash. Yep. Bad, but mostly coming. I was hoping that with the single spin, I would hit her just as she came down and spin towards her.
Battle 3.
But
Fight.
I overestimated either the speed that she attacked him out or the power of separating.
You picked the wrong person to fight.
If I had 5 in this scenario, it would actually be faster to not bothering with her where she recovers and not having her attack, but considering that she improves my attacks, the damage I do the thing by 50%, she will get back with more than enough time to help out. So, fortifying this citadel up, this stronghold, so that she'll recover here. So yeah, this Chronicle is going to be close to a wash. Might lose a little bit of time. It takes so long to get here. Sometimes this is, if I'm having a particularly troublesome, this is a bathroom break period. At least it is if I don't lose my she has to be alive at least. Sub 2-hour Chronicle 12, sub 3-hour Chronicle 16 are both holy grails for this particular run. Those are what I look at most, the hour marks. Although a sub 230 Chronicle 14 is really good. Naturally, all these are good. I'm 5 minutes ahead of my split right now. 5 minutes ahead of my PB. This far in is a really, really good pace. sub 330 Chronicle 18 will be really nice. I should be able to get that. My Chronicle 17 went awful Thursday because I actually lost the
Decisive
which is
battle.
unusual. Looks like I'll gain a bit of time. I did this strat by accident Thursday, and it actually turns out I love it when I do something on accident and then I find out, hey, actually
Battle
this is faster.
1. Fight.
Okay, Yami's cooperating, so that's good. Sort of. He's not cooperating. If he had,
You should really give
knock
up.
him straight off, but oh well.
It looks
He
like I
didn't
got
get
lucky.
too aggressive and start doing a lot of damage to me, so that's what's important. Save almost a minute? Wow. Even with 2 deaths. That means I can save a lot more time if I can manage to not die at all. Which I think maybe one of the things that I'll do is, especially if she's hurt, not have my main character go after Talim and Yunsung. I should be able to take both out with a... Yep, almost another minute. 6 now. That's really good. I guess 345 is still on the table, but my last splits were generally really good on my PB, so odds of making up another hole. Making up another whole 2 minutes on top of this 3 minutes would be necessary for a 345. And the odds of that are kind of low. My main goal here is not to die to Mega or Sophia on the coin collector, which I did with Partha Thursday. That cost me another couple minutes. I was doing so well of a comeback, I had a faint hope that at least I'd get close to my PB and do at least a sub 4 hour, even if I couldn't quite catch up. But this losing here just eliminated any hope of that. A lot better. My PB is super duper excellent. It's gonna be hard to beat, but we'll see what I can manage.
Decisive battle.
This is one Chronicle where even on any percent I take on the Soulcalibur characters, because this path is just quicker. Shorter overall, less fights. I could take the northern path as well and then not fight any Soulcalibur characters, but I think those fights are actually...
I'm sorry.
Stay down!
Okay, got it. Not bad. A little slow from the opening. I was expecting a aggressive Samurai Standard play. Very not nice. Okay, now I got it. Problem is I might
I'm sorry, but I must move on.
Characters I'm fighting here are the units that you normally have available in the story through the first half of the game. They're removed from your party at the end of Chronicle 12, and in your path has defeated all of the other kingdoms and are now chief of the whole army. Hooray, Randall is at peace, nothing can threaten us until General Gerardo decides to rebel. And then Chronicle 16, after being responsible for his death and letting the Emperor come and kill him after defeating him and defeating his whole army, we decide, now we're gonna rebel now. We're gonna lead the people who've been kicking the crap out of for the past 3 Chronicles. Yes. But you have a whole new group for that. They take away your regular soldiers from all the people who are in all these strongholds right now. And give you 3 new guys and Amelia for a little while. Amelia leaves at Chronicle 15. She doesn't join the rebellion.
And these
Decisive battle.
characters all love you, so they don't want to fight you, but they're given shards of soul edge, which turn them into zombies. In order to break them free, we of course have to apply violence. If we defeat them, we get them back. If we don't defeat them, we don't get them back. Doesn't matter in a normal speedrun.
Battle 1. Fight.
Wow. Yeah. Kind of saw that coming. I was so weak. And of course, she decided to do weird things I'd never
Battle
seen
2.
before.
Fight.
Can't guarantee you death. There's more time loss on this Chronicle.
Fight.
Gonna lose about a minute. So 345 is definitely off for
I'll
now,
take
but
you
I'm
on
still
anytime you
well
want.
ahead enough for a PB. Which is excellent. Sub 350 PB would be grand. Get back to about 45 minutes behind my any percent. I need to practice any percent again sometime soon as well. I'm mostly submitting SC percent to my speedruns. I'm submitting both, but I'm fine. My preference is SC percent. I think it's slightly more interesting than any percent. Since you get to see all those Soulcalibur characters. And you know, it's pretty amazing to watch anybody, even with such cheap tactics, fighting this style, but still amazing to see low level characters take on those level 60s and beat them. Very well done. I think. A lot of them, it's not that, not nearly as bad as it is in a lot of RPGs, because stats matter, but they don't matter nearly as much as they do in those other kinds of regular kind of RPG speedruns. I might end up having to fight another person because of that retreating character and not doing enough damage, which would add even more time loss. He's a knight, so he's really slow, but still might make it there in time. Is it only gonna be a minute time loss? Yeah, probably. Depends on if that makes it or not. This is the other really tall character. Right, it is. Really tight. Yeah, he's gonna make it in. He left another fight last too, so yeah, definitely losing at least a minute.
Decisive battle.
Very annoying. And there we go. Sorry, lose time. Oh well. I can afford to lose a minute. It's still good. Just gives me more room to grow.
Battle 1. Fight. Battle
Probably about a
2.
minute and a half.
Fight.
Aeolus, the other really large character. Why he's really large, we don't know. Now it's gonna be about a
It
minute.
looks like I won today, but who knows what'll happen next time.
Little bit more than a minute is all. Minute 10, yeah. I did that totally wrong. Okay, final battle against Debilia. It's absolutely determined to fight, no matter who we are. She'll fight any enemy at Grandal.
The final battle. Fight. Now.
Might have been enough. I didn't attack. I thought that I just was able to shove her out. Oh well. That would have
You are
been
not
a small
worthy
time
to
save,
challenge
a second or two. Not a big deal. I didn't take any damage, so it's still a good fight. Well, this might actually save a small amount of time. Based on last time. I tried this strategy out for the first time. The idea is to use my main character to lure a bunch of them out of the way
Final
here.
battle. Fight.
Unfortunately, 3 of them were able to take my main citadel before I could
Ring out.
so I had to fight all 3 of them.
My blade cannot be defeated
Just
so
fighting him
easily.
alone should end up being a small time save over that, and then this whole thing did end up saving me time versus the I've made up a decent amount of time there. Infantry should not be able to pass my own stuff. Okay, Siegfried. Other than Sung Mina, simply because of Ice, Siegfried's probably the strongest Soulcalibur character to face in Chronicles of the Sword, because he has a really good AI, he's got a strong class in Knight, and he has a pretty strong mission. Reserve offense up doesn't seem all that great, but if ever you start letting the enemy hit you when they get really low in health, their damage is huge, and Siegfried already is a high damage character. Once he starts getting aggressive and doing his hit combos from hit to hit so hard, your health depletes, can go from 100 to 0 really fast.
Battle 1. Fight. Now.
I can't believe that didn't ring it out. There we go. Let me take it back.
You are not worthy to challenge me.
And again, I do really like his secondary outfit. I actually like the secondary outfits on quite a lot of the Soulcalibur characters in SC3. Sophia is a big one. I love the blue pseudo battle dress thing she wears in her secondary outfit, especially compared to what they gave her for her main outfit in this one. It looks, especially without the color components on it, it looks like basically fighting in the ship. I really like Siegfried's plate mail armor in his first set, but the second set is cool looking too, and it just seems more appropriate for the vagabond than that shiny plate mail, considering he's supposed to be running around the continents trying to avoid attention and hide the swords. Two of the exceptions are, two major exceptions are Sung Lina's and Xianghua's. Xianghua's main dress is really cute, a lot more colorful. I don't like the black and white as much, nor her hairstyle in her second outfit. And that's largely the same for Sung Lina. It's colors and hairstyle.
Decisive battle.
Sung Lina's a lot more provocative in her first outfit, and she's my favorite character, but that's not what I like about it. I like the fact that she has longer hair, and the red and green colors of that outfit are really nice.
Battle 1. Fight. This is the end. Now.
Whirlwind, so much fun.
You are not worthy to challenge me.
We take another bath. We are good. So yes, I'm definitely going to take this Citadel before they get mine. Excellent. Don't have to worry about the spike this time. Excellent, excellent, excellent. This should save a good chunk of time all it's on. Stretch here, about a half hour of the game left. Chronicles after this final fight. I really like the strategy of attacking a fortress from the angle enemies are trying to come, not with the intent of taking the fortress down, but just preventing them from attacking the wall. Works out quite nicely. So what makes the speedrun so fun to me from an analytical perspective, and one of the reasons why I wasn't that enamored with the 100% run for this game. Turned out more interesting than I expected, a lot faster than I expected to, so it wasn't a bad run. But I really like, there isn't much to this game except for Soulcalibur combat and running around on the tactical map. The little things that I get to do are what make it a lot of fun.
Decisive battle.
Trying to find ways to get enemies to not fight me, to use their own fortresses as barriers. Sometimes even sacrificing units to keep them from reaching the main force, kind of thing. There's no way this can be gold, right? No, I don't think so.
I will not lose against a traitor, even if it is you.
Battle 1. Fight.
Not particularly that caring about how many people I use. In the end, I want to use everybody. So if I end up using those characters, that's less people I have to suicide when I'm done. Because all I have to do to win is kill Abelia, not take the stronghold. And rather than deal with 2 more characters of Guardian Force, even if they're low level, it's just as fast to suicide pretty much.
Bring it on. Fight.
If Abelia was somehow able to beat my last character, that would be a huge time loss, but it's essentially impossible.
Battle 3. Fight.
Now I just have to ring out twice. No, it's not going to be a gold, but it's going to be so close. That's pretty wild considering gold is any percent strat where I didn't have to fight Siegfried. An old one. It's an old one, but still.
Fight.
You had to follow me, huh?
I can't believe this.
Yeah, not quite a gold, but this is over a minute time save. Nice. Yeah, with all the loans, I might not be quite a minute. It'll be close. Just shy of a minute. Luna shows up, gives us Soulcalibur. Now we can defeat Soul Edge, right? Well, not really. I don't use Soulcalibur to defeat Soul Edge. You don't need to. It's kind of implied in the story you're supposed to do that. Don't care about that. Longest Chronicle in the game. At least I get all 5 characters. My last 2 things, it's going to be really hard to make up any more time because my teams are that good. My best ones there. That's just so long though. Yeah, you do have to so actually. No, there is a possibility of time saving actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I was thinking about that last time. I send all my characters to go after Nightmare, that's a little bit of a waste. moderately predictable but slightly weird AI here. A lot of these people who are defending fortresses are designed to come out at the weirdest times. They have more aggressive than defensive personalities, but they only trigger at certain points, usually when you get close to them. So rather than staying inside their citadels and defend it, when you get kind of close, they'll come out to fight you. Which is fine, because it's being inside of... It's fighting inside of strongholds with horrible missions.
Irritating. You should really give up.
Battle 2. Fight!
You should really give up. Did you enjoy my dance?
Right there. And right there. Those are two fortresses that actually stay. Because they're set level 3 strongholds too, which is convenient. I like running into those because it means that I don't have to worry as much about whoops, forgot him. It would have been worth it to delay slightly, so I would have only fought one of them. Okay. This is something new I'm doing, though, so this is just something to remember for next time. Which I'll get in even more of an improvement.
Final battle.
This isn't going to lose me enough time. Pretty much only a bad Strife can do that now.
Fight!
I'll take you on anytime you want.
Even so, 6 minutes is going to be hard to lose over 2 Chronicles, even if my Chronicle 20 was really good last time and my Chronicle 19 was pretty good as well.
Battle 1. Fight! Fight!
Do you see now? You never stood a chance.
Okay.
Those two are done. Now I can start pounding on this stronghold. One character might be too little devoted to this, actually, but we'll see. As I am experimenting. About halfway through this Chronicle now, and I still have a lot of battles to fight, technically, but only 2 fortresses, well, 3 fortresses to take. So that's about what I already did, yeah. So I'm not sure if it's faster or not.
Battle 1. Fight!
I'm sorry, but I must move on.
One of the places where the AI is weird, because these 4 basic Grand Doll grunts, there are 4 of them here. 2 of them move to attack you and moving close enough, the other guy kind of just waits. And finally, the last guy, when you approach, ducks into this fortress.
My blade cannot be defeated so easily.
Okay, hopefully that's... I may have gone up a little bit too early, which would be an unfortunate time loss, but not super bad. Nope, I got both.
Battle 1. Fight! Ring out! Final battle. Fight! Ring out!
Excellent.
You picked the
Good
wrong
ring out.
person to fight.
Decisive battle.
Nightmare is unfortunately a barbarian. I went ahead and made him a knight. You can make a nightmare pun if you like, but considering he's Siegfried's counterbalance, having both of them be the two knight is the two great swords does not
Final
feel
battle.
bad
Fight.
to me.
Did I do it? Goodbye. Did I do it? Did I do it?
Knockout.
Rock should have been the other barbarian, and then you could have made
It looks like I
the
got
rapier
lucky.
wielder Raphael either gladiator or move him to pirate and move Ivy from pirate to gladiator. That would have made a lot more sense to me. That's probably would have changed that. I understand their dilemma with putting two classes per two Soulcalibur characters in class. They wanted Raphael, the rapier wielder, to be a knight, and knights use rapiers, which is kind of accurate historically as guns and gunpowder started to become regular type of weaponry. Normal sword, really heavy armor and such things that knights used in the mid and high Middle Ages fell out of favor, and they toned down swords from heavier 3-pound broadswords to more 1.5 pound, 2-pound lightweight fencing weapons for speed and grace, whatever else they want to call that. The culture, as it were. Yeah, this isn't bad.
Decisive battle.
So in the sense of the Renaissance era knights and nobility, yes, the rapier is a acceptable style. Even so, though, just Nightmare feels very off as just a barbarian, and Rock as a gladiator also feels off. At the very least, they should have exchanged those two. I mean, it's kind of weird because they were very inconsistent about making weapons match. They gave the rapier to the knight, and so in that sense, it's logical to have
Battle 2. Fight.
Siegfried or Raphael the knight using a rapier as well, but
Fight.
an anticlimactic kind of boss. But having Raphael,
My blade cannot
it isn't
be
like they
defeated
always
so
stuck
easily.
to that either. You know, again, the Iron Sword is mostly a barbarian weapon, so giving the barbarian Soul Edge the same thing, you know, doubles down on it. But then again, the Chinese blades, the Xianghua inspired weapon, and they don't get it.
almighty ones have... Final battle, fight!
Damn! I can't believe this!
Okay, there we go. Finally recovered my mic.
Now, final
Sorry, when
battle,
my headset shut down, and the mic off. Sometimes it's difficult to get going again.
fight!
Okay.
Did I do it? Goodbye.
Oh, this is turning into it. This is the worst strife I've had in a while. Likewise, I was doing so well there too. As was being so level is all about. Oh well. No, I don't want to die. Save me. Okay, whatever. Alright. I really hope I don't have to fight with Shari because she's likely to get one or two shot. I explained a bit about my pathing there while my mic was off and I didn't realize that it was off. I should have paid a little bit more attention to that earlier. I tried and fixed it while nothing interesting was going on rather than right before Strife battle.
Final battle, fight!
There we go.
Knockout!
Did the pain set in yet?
Okay. Still PB, sub 350. Not bad. Places I can improve. Not losing 2 minutes there to various things and just bad play will really help. I could probably get a sub 5 minute Chronicle 20 if I do everything right. A few other places I lost time unnecessarily. The death in 17. I can still cut out 2 deaths in Chronicle 16 by playing right. That'll save even more time there. Again, because these splits are too much mixed in with my any percent, I can't actually use sum of best to even get an idea of where I'm at. I need to go through and spend some of the time this week during runs that I'm not as interested in fixing my times and figuring them out, what my actual bests are everywhere. Great dialogue coming up.
Emperor died. Both the evil blade and
Emperor
the holy
died.
blade disappeared into darkness. The empire collapsed, and the people were left only with devastated lands and the memories of the terrible war. The people, however, eventually forgot the hardships. They rebuilt the razed villages and sowed new seeds upon the destroyed fields.
Now, best statue ever coming up.
Then by the fireside, they told the tales of the great ones who spilt their blood upon those lands.
Thanks for watching through the full thing. Got a new PB on that. That feels good.
The legend will never die.
Oh, I'm gonna be silent for this week because of SGDQ. Mostly gonna be watching runs and
Soulcalibur.
trying stuff out in the
3.
meantime, but I'll be back at it again starting the following weekend. So until then, see you all later, and hope you all enjoy SGDQ this week as much as I will. Till next time.